Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is a book review over Sweet Thing, which was written by Renee Carlino. This book was introduced to me from Hannah over at Bookworms Talk with Hannah. And Hannah, thank you so much for bringing this book into my life for reasons you already know and the rest of you guys are about to find out. When this book first starts, we meet our main character whose name is Mia. And Mia is about to get on a plane that's going to take her to New York because we find out that her father recently passed away and she's traveling to New York to kind of like pick up his mantle. She's going to be taking over the family business, running her father's coffee shop. It's not very long after we are introduced to Mia. We are also introduced to Will. Mia and Will meet on the plane. They are seated next to each other and Mia pretty much strikes up a conversation out of necessity with Will because she's like, he's not even having like a mild miniature panic attack. It's like full on, like he is just not having a good time. And with talking to him, she learns that, you know, he is deathly afraid of flying, which she's like, oh really, I couldn't tell. So Mia brings up the conversation about guitars because one of Will's carry-on items was a guitar. And so Will's like, oh, this girl's sweet. She's talking to me about my guitar. But then he becomes very surprised because Mia is not just, she just doesn't talk about his guitar, she begins guitar speak. And I'm sure if you are musically inclined, I am not, but I have a lot of friends who are, and if you've ever seen this, you know how it goes. So Mia just starts talking about music and instruments, and they start having this banter back and forth, and it totally works. It takes Will's mind off the big whole scary fact that he is in a plane. And in this conversation, you know, Mia tells Will why she's going to New York and he tells her the same. She finds out that he's a musician and all that jazz. And as a reader, you're like, I kind of foresee where this is going to go, and I think that I like it. So when the plane lands, Mia and Will go their separate ways, and just time passes. Mia, you know, of course, does all the stuff that involves set up a routine and go through like all of her dad's things and just get settled. All those things happen. And then several months down the road, Will kind of reaches out to Mia. He's like, hey, let's reconnect. And he invites her to a gig that his band is doing. And Mia's like, I don't know. She ends up talking to her bestie. She's like, okay, I'll go if you go with me. And so she goes, and she is completely just blown away because she didn't really take Will seriously, but she was very surprised of actually how good he is. Even though she did not enjoy the lead singer of the band, she's like, just shut that homeboy up. So Will and Mia, since they've reconnected, they start talking again, and things lead to other things, and Will ends up becoming Mia's roommate. And when this whole arrangement is made, Mia's like, okay, I just want to just let you know that there is to be no inappropriate advances. We are roommates. That is it. I have my life, you have yours, we will intercept, we will be awesome roommates, but don't try to make like any inappropriate passes. And Will's like, boo-boo, sweetheart, I got you, it's okay. Pretty much after that happens, the rest of the story just takes off into pretty good stuff. I've given you enough background information to whet your appetites to see if this is a book that you would be maybe interested in reading or checking out. Subliminal message. You want to read this book. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about our characters. I'm just going to talk about Mia first. I really enjoyed Mia as the main character. There are things that I loved about her, and then things that I found very frustrating about her on the other hand. But overall, she was a great character. I enjoyed her viewpoint. I enjoyed her struggles. What I really mean is that I cared about what she was going through, what she was trying to figure out in her life. For Mia in this story, it is a story about self-discovery, finding out what she wants in life, who she's meant to be, if she's supposed to be structured or more free-spirited. It's a tremendous learning experience and just self-discovery, and it's just a journey and a constant constant process. I really enjoy getting to watch a main character kind of just discover who they are, and then once they figure it out, just go for it and just unapologetically just go for what it is that they've found peace about. With all that being said, I do have one major frustration that I had with Mia, and I think that my frustration with her could have been easily avoided. I felt like the author didn't give me enough information about Mia to let me understand why she was motivated to act certain ways. And what I really mean is that Mia, she has a fear of commitment, whether that be big life events or commitments to people. Just commitment just terrifies her. It's just like deer in the headlights, like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. And I don't care. I gotta escape. It's just that she just freezes. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a fear of commitment or anything like that, but I just wish that I understood why she had that fear, because it's an important aspect of the story. And with it being such an important thing, I really wish that Renee Carlino would have just given me just more information, maybe just something so that I could understand Mia and understand where she was coming from and why just commitment, it was just such a terrifying thing for her. And so I found that kind of frustrating because I wasn't able to understand why. I just didn't understand it. I was like, I just want to understand. I just want to understand you. And I just don't. I'm not being given what I feel like I need to be given to understand you, and that was just very frustrating. But even though that I did have that frustration, I still really cared about Mia. I cared about her story. I cared about how she progressed, what she was trying to discover about herself. I still cared about her, and I cared about her journey. Alrighty, you guys, let's talk about Will. Will. Oh my God. Will. Perfect. But maybe just a little too perfect. So Will is an amazing character. I really, really loved him. I loved his sense of humor. I loved how hardworking he was. I felt like he was kind of the opposite of Mia, where even though he is still young and still trying to figure things out and to make things happen in his life, Will already knew what he wanted in life and who he was and what he was going to pursue. And he was just such a hard worker that he pretty much did everything that he could in order to get to where he wants to be. I just really enjoyed that about Will. Only little thing that I have against Will, and it's not anything against Will, I can't be 100% positive about, is just how perfect he really is. I just don't know anyone who is that patient, who is that endearing and long-suffering. I just don't know, but those are definitely attributes of Will and who he is. And I think that that was just a little, I was like, you're just a little too perfect, but I still really like you. Alrighty, so I'm just going to talk about some other secondary characters, not really anyone individually, just about them. I kind of felt like they were underdeveloped. Definitely understood why they were in the story and that they were there for specific reasons to move the plot forward. Things have happened and now here comes Mia's BFF just blazing on in like, sweetheart, sit down. We are gonna have a come to Jesus talk about all this stuff. And you know that they're just there to move the plot forward to get to the other really good stuff. I found that a little sad and disappointing because I really feel like the characters could have added much more to the book, because there are certain characters I'm like, ooh, girlfriend, I love you and I love your sass. I just wish that I could have gotten to know you better. My negative things are just more of like little musings or thoughts that I had. I'm like, this is kind of frustrating, or I would have really liked to have known this character better, because I can totally see that they're here to just pile this
plot right on down.
Alrighty, so with all that being said, you guys, I'm going to give you my final verdict. I give Sweet Thing by Renee Carlino 5 stars out of 5. I think that you should read it because you will probably enjoy it, especially if you are someone who's musically inclined. You will definitely enjoy that book. I hope that you guys found this review helpful, and until I see you next time, peace out, Girl Scouts.